Alright, here we have the guide to installing ROI gauges. They're really simple, take a few minutes to do. The hardest part is usually getting the cluster out of the vehicle, but since we buy ours from the internet, we really don't have much experience in that, but there's tons of information on the web that can help you out. Alright, so pretty much the first thing you gotta do is get the cluster out of the vehicle, then you'll have something that kind of looks like this. And we gotta get to the gauges. Now, our instructions that come with the individual set that you purchased are probably a little more specific to how to get to them, but in the case of this Jeep cluster, there's just a number of black clips on the outside. And sometimes there's just a special order you gotta do them in. It can be a pain. Just kind of just wedge. Alright. Okay, so we got a couple more clips left. Just this one on the end. Alright, that's it. Just pull it off. Now we've got access to the gauges. And pretty much the first step that you want to do at this point is just make sure they're clean, dirt, debris. You don't want dust under your overlays, so we usually just take a soapy water solution, a couple drops of dish soap, and fill the rest with water, and we usually just spray it down just a little, just enough to get your towel wet. And just clean it. Be a little more gentle than I'm being. This cluster is broken, so. But, I mean, you don't really have to, I mean, it's not a big deal if your cluster's in good shape. It's not that big of a deal to go through this. I mean, you can see if there's problems. Then basically at this point, with this out and the lens off, what you pretty much need to do is actually go back out to your vehicle and put the cluster in just like this, because we're going to need the lights on. Since I don't have a Jeep, I've had to substitute. So I've got a power supply hooked up to it, and you can see that it lights up. Because basically the reason you need the lights is our overlays are translucent. So let's say I got two sets here, so let's sacrifice one. You use the stock lighting at night, so, and I don't know if you can see through it, but you gotta be pretty spot on with the numbers. If you don't get them spot on, well, then they don't line up at night and you get this neat ghosting that really isn't all that cool. So basically, let's get started here. So let me shut some lights off. So it should just leave enough ambient light to kind of show you what's going on here. Alright, so pretty much I always just start at the left, work my way right. It doesn't really matter. So bottom left, I see a fuel gauge. So you just take it, you just peel it off the backing, no big deal. Spray it with soapy water solution. I usually spray the gauges as well. And then you just thread the needle through and push down with your fingers and then pull it all the way to the base. You'll see kind of block the light, and then the back part comes over. And then you can just grab the top of it. And this is the reason for having it plugged into the lights. Then you can kind of position this guy while he's wet, and it just lets the light shine through just like it's supposed to. And then the next step would be just to take your little rubber squeegee, kind of, see this guy? Just start at the middle and work your way out. Start off gently, because if you push down too hard you may pull the overlay. And just, there you go. One down. So you go through. Next one happens to be the battery gauge. So, these are obviously a big set that hasn't cut up yet. Same thing. Hold down to the bottom, slide it to the base of the needle. I mean, this fat part isn't the base, it's just got a little bitty pin-sized shaft. And you gotta slide it to that shaft, and then it just drops right over. Alright, that one's good. Keep in mind that this is probably a little bit harder in the car. I've done a few installs in the car and it's not that big of a deal. You just need to make sure that you can see the stock lighting through the overlays. If you can't, well then you're not going to line them up right, and then you're going to be emailing or calling us asking why they didn't line up right. So hopefully this will help you out a little bit. So next we've got the tack. And sometimes, like when you pull it off the backing paper, like the cutouts don't come out. Like I think there's a needle cutout on this. Yeah, there's a needle stopper that's not on this cluster. It is still there. I'm just going to leave it because we lost the needle stoppers. Actually, I think they didn't come with them because it was broken when we bought it. But same deal. Pull it to the base, and it slides right over. And just it up. I usually just line up like the one side. This is the bottoms, so 0 and 7 in this case. And once you get them lined up pretty good, you pretty much just drop right into place. Just once again, go ahead, start the middle, work your way out. I'll actually show you on the speedometer what it looks like when you're lining it up, so I'll have to pull the camera off my mount for a second. Alright, get this wet. Alright, let's do this. Alright, so here's what they look like close up as you would be lining them up. And you can see the 220 kind of shining through. And as you line it up, it just gets closer and closer. I'm only doing this one-handed, so this is actually quite the tricky task. Normally this is a two-handed operation. You just slide cold so I went too far, and it messes this side up. I'm getting close. It's too far. Pull it back. Okay, so that side's good. That side's probably as good as we're going to get it one-handed. So you can see, it looks a lot better than it would if it was all off and not lined up. Alright, so back on track here. I showed you what it looks like when you're lining it up. So we'll just kind of finish these up real quick. I'll show you the finishing touches. These are usually a lot easier to get off the individual sheets than they are the big one. So this will be tip. Perfect. And oil pressure. Right. So there we have them, pretty much installed at this point. So we can go ahead and turn some lights on back in here. Not really have the cluster on anymore. Now you can see, we have gauges. Now pretty much the final step is take your rag and you'll see like moisture from just, doing the other gauges and from squeegeeing. And you'll just want to clean them up. Getting ready to go back in the cluster, or back in your vehicle with the face back on. Alright, so at this point you would pretty much be done. You would, if you had the needle stoppers, you'd have to put them back in at this point, because in the instructions it'll say to pull them out. And then you would just simply, reassembly is the exact opposite of disassembly, so you line it all up, that clips into place. Put some lights off, and we got some white gauges. I mean, now would be a perfect time to, if your lens is a little dirty, you can clean it up. Use our plastic polish. I think it's a scratch right there. But broken cluster, don't care. Task for another day.